What's going on, guys? Cameron here with the Lawn Care Life in Mowssouri. Got Ed out here. We're in the Hydro booth, right?
Yep.
We've got the Wright Standard LG. We got a prototype over here, and we're just gonna check this out real quick and see what we got.
Yeah, so what this is it's a fit up of Hydro Gear's latest generation components. So the wheel motor now has the planetary reduction that's like in a 5400 transmission, or like the wheel motor we run in the ZK. So it's torquier. It's got 24-inch tires on it. Has their newer wheel motor, or blade motor, sorry. That's again a little bit more torquey. Next generation controllers, motor controllers, and then it has the updated 88-volt batteries. So we have 3 6-kilowatt packs on here, so this is a total of 18 kilowatts on this fit up. So this is not a prototype as in like this is intended for durability testing. It's really more get our hands on the components, get feedback on what's going on, getting folks like Cameron, who's got experience driving an electric mower every day, to say, this is what I like, this is what I don't like about it. Maybe these are some of the challenges that we see with this style of machine. So we're looking for that feedback. The other thing in here is this controller that takes the hand inputs and sends the commands to the wheel motors. It's extremely tunable, and Hydro Gear through their app can say, okay, we're going to add a little acceleration or do this, that, and the other thing. And so one of the things that Cameron has been doing for the past couple minutes here is trying out the accelerations and the turning and the responsiveness and that kind of thing, and working to get some of that all tuned in. So yeah, overall that's what we're looking at here.
So as a lot of you guys know, I run the Toro Grandstand Revolution mower, and I tell you, I've got about 250 hours on it so far. So I got a little bit of time on the battery equipment, you know, so I was just testing this one out, trying to compare a little bit and see how it kind of matches up. I do know that, you know, with battery powered equipment, runtime is the biggest factor. You know, it's like, how long is this machine going to run? We really don't know.
It's hard to pin down too, because heavy grass and lighter grass and how fast you're going and how many hills there are.
Exactly. So you can have like a manufacturer will tell you a runtime, but honestly, that's going to vary so much. I know in my area, I mowed a lot of acreage with the Toro Grandstand. I get about 5 hours out of runtime if I'm out there.
That's 5 hours if it's flat out mowing, right?
If I'm flat out mowing, you know, running top speed, I get about 5 hours of runtime on that thing. So, you know, if I mow smaller lawns, it may be 7 or 8 hours. But the runtime's the main thing that everybody looks at with the battery equipment, of course.
Do you think for our industry that 5-6 hour runtime is about right for a machine that's going to be mobile and not doing flat out mowing?
Sure. I think if you have the smaller lawns, that runtime may be fine.
Yeah.
But I think if you have the bigger lawns like I have, you need 8, really 9, or even 10 hours of runtime.
Yeah.
There's a lot of properties that I mow, I might be on the mower for 5 hours at a time.
Yeah.
So, you know, 5 hours, if I'm out there on the Toro Grandstand, you know, the battery's going to be dead. So we need a lot more than that.
We could. This is 18 kilowatts here. We could double this, but the thing is, the battery is the most expensive part of the machine.
Yeah, sure.
So pretty soon, you know, what could maybe be a $25,000 or $30,000 machine becomes a $60,000 machine.
Yeah.
And so it's really more of a question of cost and weight. But the batteries at this point are dense enough where you can fit them on the unit.
Yeah, and that's one thing, you know, it's like the price of the machines.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, you know, we can buy 2 gas machines for the price of battery.
2 or 3, or 3 around there, depending on what type of mower it is.
Yeah, for sure. So that's something to consider too. I know a lot of guys, if they're going to switch from gas to battery, they don't want to spend double. I mean, I'm not going to spend double the amount of money. You know, I'm just not going to do that. So
I think in my lifetime they'll match up.
I think so.
But it'll be a little while before we get there.
It's going to be a long road. I do know that on this one, as far as the fine tuning and the like just running the machine, it feels really smooth. Which is kind of, I don't know. I've ran several battery powered mowers, and the hardest thing I feel like for a company to do is to make the machine run smooth. You don't want it to be jerky. You want it to be, you know, flow and run smooth. And on this one, I don't know, maybe the acceleration was a little jerky, but once you get the machine going, I felt like it was nice and smooth.
I think that's part of the switch here. You can have 2 different tunings. We call it slow and fast, but really they can be just completely different tunings.
Sure.
But I think one is when you first get on it, and because you don't get the feedback from the hydraulics.
Yeah.
You first get on it, it's going to be a little bit mushier, right? So you don't overreact or whatever. But if you're experienced with the machine, you want to get in tight around things fast.
Yeah.
It's too laggy.
Yeah.
And that's where you need that really responsiveness. And one of the challenges with electric stuff, you have instant, infinite torque.
Right.
So in the algorithm, you have to like detune it to make it not jumpy without making it sluggish and mushy.
Lagging and all that, yeah.
But I'm very impressed with HydroGear's system. Like, there's so many parameters you can get in there and fool around with to map. Even down to things like, you can have a machine go really fast, but that means that the zero turning will be so fast to throw you off.
Right.
So they can actually set a yaw rate so that you can have full speed, but it won't hook a turn faster than keep you on the machine, you know?
Now, you're talking about this. Would there be any way, this would be interesting, but this would be really nice. Would there be any way like the end user could go in and like customize those settings? Like if they feel like they want it to respond slower, maybe they can do that. Or, you know, if they want it fast, you know, you've been on the mower, you've been on the machine for a while, you want to get out there and get stuff done. Would that be like something that they could do?
I'm just guessing at this, but my guess is from HydroGear's standpoint, they probably don't want it that open because, you know, to establish something that's identified as this is reasonable and safe, because if you make it completely raw, the thing is you'll flip over backwards.
I got you.
You accelerate, right?
Right.
But I think there has been discussion as are there some parameters that could be set, you know, like speed, but maybe not. There's limits on the acceleration or something like that, so it doesn't end up flipping. Also, some of the algorithms protect the machine, because if you could have infinite instant torque, you might blow a fuse or something like that.
I see.
So stuff that helps moderates or cools, keeps the system cool.
Right. So all that just keeps guys like me from just really tearing up a piece of equipment, sounds like. I mean,
or tearing up the battery.
Or tearing up the battery, which you probably won't want to do that because it's probably pretty expensive, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it is. That battery's half or 2/3 the cost of the machine. You're looking at an electric mower. We're trying to figure it out. You know, from our standpoint, we don't have an agenda one way or the other, but we understand that there's certain people that want cut real quiet, or we've got some states now that, you know, they want to be zero emissions by whatever, and we want to be sure that we're supporting people that are in those places with the product. But I don't know that it's productive to say, oh, you have to use this. Let the technology evolve at the rate of what the end market wants. So it's important that we're keeping an eye on where it's going. Yeah. And in this case, I really like what HydroGear is doing, because it's a US-based company, and they can get us from the outlet charger to the wheel motor to the blade. Soup to nuts. It just makes a lot of things a lot easier. And when you have one supply, you know, because how you consume the electricity can affect the life of the battery, or your motor controller can affect the life of the wheel motor or the blade motor. All these things are very related, and have one supplier working with it all. It's never one of these things of, well, that's your fault or their fault or whatever. It's everybody's on the same page with the components. So, I like what they're doing. I believe our industry really needs a strong player, US-based player in this space. So good to see them there.
Yeah, for sure. It's good to have options. I always say, you know, like every business is different. Your business is going to be way different than mine, and it's probably going to be different than the next guy's. So if you can have options out there and, you know, see what you like, see what you don't like, I think options are the best thing for like myself, end user. You know, you're not stuck with one thing. Right. You know, if something doesn't work for you, you can try something else. So I like where the battery technology is right now. I mean, the runtime is obviously something that I would have to have improved to be able to use it in my business, but maybe a guy that's mowing smaller lawns, you know, that he doesn't need to run out there and mow like 8-9 hours a day. He can get on a machine like this and mow for 4 or 5 hours, and you know, it might work great for him.
Well, if this gets further down the road, maybe we can get together and do a tuning session and try to really dial it in.
There you go.
Get some hills and some gullies and some straightaways, and get HydroGear out there. And
that'd be nice.
I think you'd be impressed with the amount of things that they can really fiddle with.
Yeah, technology's come a long ways,
really
man.
Has,
when I first started, it was like, this is the mower you get, and that's about it.
It wasn't very good.
Not very many options.
Right.
That was 22 years ago, though. So, it's come a long way for sure. Well, I appreciate you showing me this prototype, it's always neat to see like new things, because I mean, you never know which way you'll go with this, honestly, at this point.
We want the feedback before we come out with something. It's not like we want to just sit there behind the scenes and throw something to the market and say, good luck, y'all. You know?
Right.
It's a process, right?
Exactly.
What do we all need here?
Yeah, for sure.
What's buildable, and what do you need?
Fulfilling those needs, you know. Awesome. Well, thanks, Ed. I appreciate it. Yeah. Thanks for showing me this new machine and letting me ride on it.
Sure.
I thought it was smooth and comfortable, but
thanks to Hydrogear for helping us put this together.
Absolutely. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.